Wow. Yeah, I'll just start with that. Wow. This is a video you're going to want to stick around for throughout its entirety. We have a lot to discuss in this, but a crazy amount of spoilers on top of that. And also Wizards of the Coast dropping on us the next 4 sets coming out, which is going to be Theros Beyond Death. I think a lot of us predicted that one. Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. That sounds really sweet. Core 2021. And Zendikar Rising. Ugh, yes, that, you know what that means? Bow, 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 bow. The return of the Eldrazi. 99.999%. That's insanity, man. Joy Moss called it. Yes. All right. We did call that one. That's one for the Bad Boy Gaming team. Okay, let's get into this. Besides all that, let's do the spoilers. We got a lot to go over, man. Fireborn Knight. I can't spend too much time. This video will be an hour long. That's how many spoilers we got today. It's ridiculous. Fireborn Knight. Yeah, I like the hybrid casting stuff going on here. Human Knight's got double strike. It's a 2/3. And if you pay 4, 1 red or 1 plains, your choice. Fireborn Knight gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I like the hybrid stuff coming back. I think it was kind of obvious we were going to do that because we were going back to like the Lauren kind of block, you know. Scar Conrad of the Grim. It's a 5-drop legendary creature, Human Knight. Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then for Deuce, each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Pretty sweet. Just some fun interaction. Blood for Bones would go great with this. Brought Back would also go great with this kind of card. Yes, absolutely. Arcanus Owl. 4-drop, the hybrid cost. Yeah, now this stuff, guys, some of this, I'm not sure if it's going to be 100% in Brawl. These cards right here you see, exclusive to Brawl, or I do also believe it could be as well as part of the normal standard. I think it's just part of the normal standard with these ones. But this is a Arcanus Owl flying, and when Arcanus Owl enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or enchantment card from among them and put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 3/3, pretty sweet. I can't really spend too much time going over and breaking down cards. I did a little bit of breakdown on a couple of these, but there's too many. There's just too many to do that. I don't have time to do it all. This would be a 2-hour-long video if I broke it down. So we got Banish into Fable, 6-drop. When you cast this spell from your hand, copy it if you control an artifact. Then copy it if you control an enchantment. You may choose new targets for the copies. Looks like artifacts are coming back hardcore in this one. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. You create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Knights are really going to be impactful. Better believe that. We're going to see some crazy powerful knights here. Savvy Hunter, it's a 3-drop human warrior in Gruul colors. When it attacks or blocks, create a food token. We're going to find out what food tokens do as well. Sacrifice 2 food tokens, draw a card. Food tokens are used for just a multitude of ways. You can use them in just multiple ways. You're going to see more and more food tokens used differently. Order of Midnight. This is interesting. It's a 2-drop. Creature Human Knight. Alter Fate is Deuce. Sorcery Adventure. What is all this about? And then on the right side, you have Flying Order of Midnight can't block. Deuce. Let's explain it. So return creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Then exile this card. You may cast the creature later from exile. It's weird that it uses the word later from exile. I mean, later when, Wizards? Can we find out exactly when we can do that? Is it just later on? Can we do it right after this? Because it's saying later. Can I play this and then immediately play my Order of Midnight? I think that's kind of confusing text right there. Very interesting. Witch's Oven. Oh, yes, baby. It's a 1-drop, sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens instead. Food tokens, man, are going to go crazy bonkers. This seems like a really good uncommon, if you ask me, Witch's Oven. I just like this whole theme, what they got going on here. Foulmare Knight is a 1-drop, creature zombie knight, profane insight. For 3, instant adventure. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Then exile this card and you may cast the creature later from exile. I still find that really odd. 1/1 Death Touch. Only 1 to bring out. Pretty powerful stuff though. Steel Claw Lance. Equipment for Deuce. And Rakdos colors. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. To equip a knight, it only costs 1. That's really neat. And then equip on any other creature, it costs 3. Inspiring Veteran over here. Other knights you control get +1/+1. It's like they just took vampires, said, all right, you know what, guys? You're done for now. Let's bring in the knights. The knights are going to slay all the vampires now. Well, we are losing a lot of very key vampires that would make Vampire Tribal competitive in the upcoming meta. So knights are just going to take over. Humans as well. We're going to have humans take over. Or is it going to be human knights? I don't know. But knights, watch out. Knights are going to be a big impact. And this card is going to be seeing a lot of play in those knight builds, of course. 4 ofs. Look at this sweet card. I love the art on this. This is so different and unique. I've never seen nothing like this in Magic. Embereth Shieldbreaker. 2-drop. This dude's over here just busting a shield with a sword. Well, what's his problem, man? Creature Human Knight. Uncommon. Battle Display is for 1 red mana. Sacrifice. Sorcery dash Adventure. Destroy target artifact. Pretty cool. It doesn't say anything else on there, though. It doesn't say you can play this card later. It doesn't say anything. I would assume it would be the same thing, though. They're just eliminating the text. But why would they eliminate the text there under the destroy target artifact and then have like they did on the other cards? I'm just really baffled by this. I'm not sure what's going on. Regardless, I like the artwork Jeremy Wilson did. They're pretty sweet. Shambling Suit. It's 3. Artifact Creature Construct. Shambling Suit's power is equal to the number of artifacts and or enchantments you control. We all knew it. With Theros coming about, we knew enchantments were going to be nuts, and artifacts are going to be just as nuts as well. Wraththorn, Acolyte. Yeah, these cards, when you see, this is also going to be in Standard. All these cards are going to be in Standard as well. I just think there's a very small handful that are going to be just geared towards just Brawl, or they might be playable in Standard as well. I mean, we're going to see all the Brawl commanders and everything in this. This is really nuts. Add 1 mana of any one color, and then tap it, add 1 mana of any one color, deuce 3. Very interesting. Seasonal Ritual. Smitten Swordmaster for deuce, creature human knight. Love this, man. This is a powerful card. Sorcery Adventure, you gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. That's pretty bonkers. Lifelink, it's a deuce 1. Again, is it going to be like the other cards where you can play it later from exile? I don't know, but that seems really kind of busted, and it's a common. It's probably going to be like 4 ofs in decks. Or ways to close out the game. Here we go. Gwen, Hero of Ashvale. We are up to some mythics and rares and whatnot. There's a big 6-drop legendary creature, human knight, vigilance, menace. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Equippment you control have equipped knight 0. That's pretty nuts. 5/5. This is going to be one of the Brawl commanders. Do keep that in mind. Then we have the Circle of Loyalty on the right here. 6-drop legendary artifact. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each knight you control. Creature you control get the +1/+1. That's nice, like a whole anthem effect, banner effect, whatever you call it. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, and then for 4, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. I just thought Kethis would go pretty good in this because Kethis, is already that broken build we've already seen. But Mox Amber's going to be rotating out, so we'll see you later. Also, don't forget to check out my recent Magic the Gathering arena video. It is bonkers, the bustedness we do with 3 cards right now in arena. It's stupid. Go check it out for real, though. It's like 2 videos back. Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard, yada, yada, yada. Kethis is great to go with the Circle of Loyalty. I thought I'd throw it up in there. And then we have Korvold, the Cursed King. He's a 5-drop. Legendary creature, dragon. There's more to that. Dragon, I don't know. Flying. Whenever Korvold, Fae, Cursed King enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. It's pretty crazy. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. Yes and no. I mean, if I got to sacrifice a permanent, yes, he gets bigger, but what if he just dies? What if someone just kills it? That card draw, I guess, makes up for it. I don't know. It seems like a pretty cool card. I like it. Tournament Grounds, this goes great with your knights. Add a red, a white, or a black. Spend this mana only to cast knight or equipment spells. Legit. Workshop Elders is a 7-drop. Creature Human Artificer. Artifact creatures you control have flying. Watch out for that. It is 7, though, to bring out, but we all know blue can get crazy and do things really quick. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target non-creature artifact you control become a 0/0 artifact creature. If you do, put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Hello, Steel Overseer. Where you at, baby? Then we have a Winter more commander. They could have said Wintermore Brawler. That would have been kind of cool, but I get it. He's a deuce drop, creature human knight with death touch, and its toughness is equal to the number of knights you control. Whenever one or more commander attacks another target knight you control, gains indestructible on the turn. Something just to consider. I mean, each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. You throw like a couple of these hot lays up in there in the mix, you know, and you got all, the rest is just tribal knight. But then you have play sets of your Wintermore and just ways to splash tokens down on your knights. This one card could be just huge, massive, destruction. Maybe give it trample or some other effect or make that sucker fly, you know. But really, Commander could be a huge card mixed with the right stuff. Shimmer Dragon is a 6-drop creature dragon in blue. I like this. You don't see dragons in blue too often. They are out there, but mostly they're drakes, you know. As long as you control 4 or more artifacts, Shimmer Dragon has a hexproof. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, draw a card. Hexproof is always cool, man. Yeah, this would just be like a top end for one of your artifact decks. Pretty cool. Proliferate. That's right, Midnight Clock. Cinderella. You better get to run in 3-drop. Add a blue mana. Nice. That alone's pretty cool. You have an artifact that actually adds mana right there, and it's blue. 3. Put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. At the beginning of each upkeep, you put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. When the 12th hour counter is put on the Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards. Exile Midnight Clock. Not bad. But definitely it's going to have to be pushed with like something like proliferating this, you know. It's 12-hour counters. It's going to take a while to get there. Fairy Formation is a 5-drop flyer. For 4, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Draw cards. Pretty powerful card right there. You can just generate as many, 1/1 blue fairies as you can, as long as you have the mana to do so, and this thing doesn't get taken out. Nice. Rankle Master of Pranks is a 4-drop legendary creature fairy rogue. It's got flying, it's got haste. Whenever Rankle Master of Pranks deals combat damage to a player, choose any number. Each player discards a card. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Each player sacrifices a creature, 3/3. I like that it's black and it has flying and haste. I mean, that alone right there is pretty cool in my book. But then the other abilities just make it pretty bonkers, and you can choose any number of those again and again. It's pretty nuts. Not again and again, but one each time. Knight's Charge is a 3-drop. Whenever a knight you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. This sounds very similar to another card we had, but it was a creature. It was a vampire creature, and it's rotating out. It was an Ixalan. Whenever it attacked, the same thing for each knight or each vampire you control, lose 1 life, gain 1 life kind of thing. But it was not an enchantment, I'll tell you that. And then for 8, sacrifice Knight's Charge. Return all Night creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's pretty bonkers. Problem, though, it's 8. Usually in a deck like this, you want to be closing out the game by that point. Knights or vampire builds, how many times do you see vampire decks at 8 mana competitively in a game of Magic? Not too often. Usually, the game is decided long before then because you're aggro. So I'm not sure what to make of this card, but it does seem pretty cool. Nice ability on it. Tome Raider, Lara Croft. That's right. Tome Raider is back. 3-drop flyer. When Tome Raider enters the battlefield, draw cards. A fairy, it's a 1/1. What more do you want from it? It looks pretty good. Tome of Legends is a deuce drop here. Like the artwork on this. Enters the battlefield with a page counter on it. Whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on Tome of Legends. And then for 1, tap it, remove a page counter from Tome of Legends, draw a card. I like. This is going to be, of course, more geared in your commander brawl decks. You're going to see this. For sure. I'm sure some of this is limited. You're not going to be playing it in standard, that's for sure. It'll be legal in standard to play, but there's no reason you'd want to play this in standard. That's how it's going right now with these cards. Those cards, at least. Sire Conrad the Grim and Eye Collector over here. Pretty cool. Eye Collector flying. Whenever Eye Collector deals combat damage to a player, each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. It's a 1-drop. That would go great with Mr. Sire Conrad the Grim over here we discussed earlier. Pretty legit. Then we had Venerable Knight. That's right, 1-drop. It's a deuce 1. Whenever Venerable Knight dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target knight you control. Not too bad. Thorn Mammoth is a rare 7-drop Trample Elephant. Whenever Thorn Mammoth or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Thorn Mammoth fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. It's a 6/6. That's a big boy right there. I'm just throwing it out there. That is one big boy, man. Or another creature enters the battlefield under your control from it. That is cool. Cool ability. It takes 7 though, but in green you're ramping up really fast. Probably definitely like a 2 of, maybe 3 of in some decks. I mean, but 7 steep. You really got to get to that mana. Maybe a 2 of. Pretty cool card. Mirrorleaf Pixie. It's going to see a heck ton of play. It's a deuce drop 2/2. Only problem is a 2/2 though. But it has flying, and then you tap it and you add a green mana or blue mana to your mana pool. And that's pretty awesome, man. Ramping up with the fairies up in Simic, pretty legit. Animating Fairy, pretty cool with the storytelling time. It's a 3-drop fairy. Bring to life for 3. That's the name of the sorcery adventure. Target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. And then its normal creature it's just a basic flyer 2/2 fairy for 3. Pretty interesting. Fairy Vandal, like it, 2-drop. Flash, flying whenever you draw your second card each turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on Fairy Vandal. Yep, there are those flash builds out there right now floating around. If only this was a wolf that did that, I think that'd be a lot more cooler. But it does have flying and the +1/+1. We get it. It's going to be cool. They're going to make more cards to go with that flash build. Frogify, 2-drop. Look at this guy, huh? Enchant creature loses all abilities and is a blue frog creature with base power and toughness. 1/1. That's not bad. It's interesting, to say the least. Belly of the Brawl. Ballet of the Brawl. Sure, she's cute though, huh? 3-drop Human Knight with Menace. Whenever Belle of the Brawl attacks, other knights you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. 3 deuce. I know we're going through a lot of cards. There's a lot to take in right now. If you want to rewatch the video, by all means, go ahead. But wow, lots to discuss, guys. Gilded Goose is a 1-drop for 1 green mana. Creature Bird, and he has this golden egg. Whoa! This is like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I am so pumped. I don't know what else to tell you. When Gilded Goose enters the battlefield, create a food token. It's an artifact with Produce. Tap it. Sacrifices artifact. You gain 3 life. Food tokens are going to be used in a variety of ways. We've seen 2 different ways so far. We're going to see more. I guarantee it. And then for Deuce, you can create a food token and then tap, sacrifice a food, add 1 mana of any color. Pretty nuts. There's 3 ways now. There's so many uses for these food tokens. Really, really interesting. That's another thing. What do you guys think of these food tokens? Now let me know what they do. What do you think of them, man? I mean, because the food tokens seem kind of like a dumb idea at first. But I get it. I mean, I think a lot of us are always saying that when a new mechanic comes around, we're always kind of like, this is stupid. Why? Oh, I don't like this. This is dumb. But then it grows on us, and this becomes part of the game. You know, I think a lot of us, anything new or weird, anything new to us is weird. You know, it's like exotics. Like, what is this? What is this thing over here? You know, but then you get used to it, and it's whatever. Golden Egg is a deuce drop. When Golden Egg enters the battlefield, draw a card. And then for 1, sacrifice Golden Egg, add 1 mana of any color. For deuce, sacrifice Golden Egg, you gain 3 life. Keeper of Fables, uncommon, 5-drop cat. Meow, that's a big kitty. Whenever 1 or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's pretty nuts. Too bad it didn't synergize a little better. Like, too bad this wasn't actually a human. I'm sorry, or not. Or too bad it wasn't like more cat tribal, I should say. Too bad it wasn't more cat tribal right now in the current standard to go with this. We're losing some very powerful cats right now, as you guys all know. All That Glitters. This is probably one of my favorite artworks. That fairy, gorgeous, man. She could sleep on my pillow anytime she wants. For deuce, enchantment or enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. It's only 2 to bring that out. That can be pretty bonkers, my friends. If you're going all enchantment artifact, synergy, that's nuts. Run away together. Don't they look happy? I'm just saying, I would not want my son running away with that ogre. He's probably going to take him to the witch's hut, which we'll discuss in a minute. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. Great card. We'll see some play. It's a common as well. Then we have Slaying Fire for 3. Slaying Fire deals 3 damage to any target. Adamant. Here we go, a new mechanic. If at least 3 red mana was spent to cast a spell, it deals 4 damage instead. Interesting. Very interesting. At least 3 red mana. So I guess you want to be running mono red to have that card in your build. Or at least it does more, Wishful Merfolk, Defender for deuce. Wishful Merfolk loses Defender and becomes a human until end of turn. It's a 3/2. Crystal Slipper. I like this card. I really do. We had Rhythm of the Wild. I think it's just a little too slow. It does a bit more, of course, than Crystal Slipper, obviously. But I just think it's a little too slow to really see any competitive play, you know. Crystal Slipper, however, this could see some competitive play. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste, equipped for 1. That's pretty nasty. It's only 1 to equip this thing. And you can be Cinderella, you know, that's right. And it goes great with something like Raised Boar, you know. You drop this thing, boom, it's got haste off rip. Swing in, boom, here comes something huge. Bam, drop it on the battlefield, you know. It's ridiculous, man, a lot of fun. We're losing Galta, though. I know, it's sad. I know. But there are big creatures out there. I'm sure we're going to get plenty more. Witch's Cottage. Witch's Cottage enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other swamps. When Witch's Cottage enters the battlefield untapped, you may put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. Interesting stuff. It doesn't enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other swamps. So you're mono black if you're trying to use something like that. We got back to Fireborn Knight. We already went over him in the Knights. Then we have Lovestruck Beast. 3-drop, Beast Noble. Heart's Desire. That's right, man. Heart's Desire is for the 1 green. Sorcery Adventure. Create a 1/1 white human creature token. This one's not bad. Lovestruck Beast can't attack unless you control a 1/1 creature. It's a 5/5. This thing seems busted if you use the sorcery first and then you go to cast this from exile later. It doesn't say that, though. It kind of is weird to me that they would put that on some cards, but not all of them. Maybe this is something a little different. I don't know. We got to find more detail about these kind of cards. But if that is the case, where you can only cast it from exile, it's not just on the card. That's pretty slow. It has to be that way, though. But there's no way. There is no way in heck, man, that you can pay 3, drop a 5/5 on the battlefield, and just pay 1 again and again and again, and just spam tokens. This thing would be busted like crazy. So something's got to give on that. We're going to learn more about it, though. Flacken Intruder, finally got some info on her. It's a 1-drop. Create 3 2/2 green bear creature tokens, and then Flaxen Intruder deals combat damage to a player. You may sacrifice it. When you do, destroy target artifact or enchantment. I do apologize about some of the quality on this, guys, but it is what it is. That's what I got for you. Then we have Piper of the Swarm, Deuce Drop, Human Warlock. Rats you control have menace. Oh, man. And then for Deuce, create a 1/1 black rat creature token. For 4, sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature. If only a rat colony wasn't rotating out. I know, it's so sad. Because this could have been a competitive deck had it been for that. It just might have been a competitive deck. Rats could have been competitive. Yeah, right. Shut up, man. Rats will never be competitive. Get off me. All right. Witching Well is a 1-drop. When Witching Well enters the battlefield, scry 2. And for 4, sacrifice Witching Well, draw 2 cards. Yep, that will see a little bit of play. Guarantee you. It's an artifact on top of that. That's pretty nuts. Heraldic Banner. That's right. As Heraldic Banner enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0. Tap it, add 1 mana of the chosen color. We are having quite a few of these banner effect-like cards leaving Standard. I had them put up before, but there was too much information coming out, so it just took too long to blend it all and add it to the end. But we do have a card similar, very, very not similar, but like it gives a little Anthem effect with the +1, you know. And that is Icon of Ancestry, which isn't going anywhere right now. But what it does not do is add 1 mana of the chosen color. So that's pretty cool for some ramp and whatnot. It doesn't give +1/+1. It's not like it draws you a card afterwards. The plus side is the mana and the +1/+0, you know, and it gives it to all of the creatures of the chosen color. I don't know. It's okay. It's good for ramp, I guess. It does more than just one thing. I think that's pretty neat. If it did +1/+1 and had to add 1 mana of the chosen color, might be a bit busted. You know, it might have to be like a mythic or something at that point. I'm not certain. Then we have Garrick, Cursed Huntsman. That's right, 6-drop. Man, we've all been waiting for Garrick to come back. I can actually pronounce things correctly, Garrick, if I wanted to. But Garrick is back, legendary planeswalker. For 0, create 2 2/2 black and green wolf creature tokens with. When this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garrick you control. Nutty. -3, destroy target creature, draw a card. And that's powerful alone, though, to destroy target creature and draw a card. And those the two black-green wolf creature tokens, when they're dying, man, you're -6. You get an emblem with creatures you control, get +3/+3, and have trample. So you just kill off some of your little wolves, you know, whatnot. boom, get bigger, get badder, get crazier, and you can -6. But also remember, proliferate is still in this. You don't even need to do that kind of crap if you have proliferate cards that do it for you. You know, and we can get to the -6 really quick and just swing on in with everything. That's nutty. And proliferate's not rotating out for another year, so get used to seeing stupid decks running that kind of combination of card. You know, the proliferate with Garrick and Wolves, and it's going to be stupid, man. Cool card. Very glad he's back. Starts in with 5 loyalty. Very interesting. Hello to all of the Brawl commanders. Meet them, my friends. This is all of them. Let me center this a little bit. Sorry, I did not realize it was that off. There we go. These are all of the Brawl commanders for all of your viewing glory. We got Shalane, Teller of Tales, which we were all familiar with before. We have Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, which is something new. The equipment you control, we already talked about this one a little bit, but Vigilance and Menace. It's a 5/5/6 to bring out. Pretty nuts. Vigilance, Menace. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Then we have Corvold, Fey, Cursed King. 5-dropper over here. Cursed King enters the battlefield or attack, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, you get to put the +1/+1 counter on Corvold and draw a card. Then we have Allay, Artful Provocator. Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Fairy, Warlock. Other creatures you control at flying get +1/+0, and whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. That is a powerful card right there. I do like that. But I like my dragons too. It's a dragon noble, by the way. Which one do you guys like the best? Which one are you going to be using as your Brawl commander? I'm going to go with the fairy because I'm a fairy. Okay, stop it. That's weird. All right, we're moving on to, that is the end of the video. Wow, we covered a lot today, guys. I mean, a ton. And I am very excited. I'm also going to be live streaming right now over on Twitch, playing with the new Brawl cards and whatnot. Playing with some of these new ones right here. So make sure you join me over there on Twitch. Link in the description of every video. Subscribe if you enjoy the latest and greatest from Joey Moss, Bad Boy Gaming, and Magic the Gathering. And I will see all of you skadoosh bags later. In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Click.